The fungus among us. It started with a cough, a dry hacking cough that wouldn't go away. Then came the fever, the fatigue, and the headaches, and then the spores. They were microscopic, but they multiplied rapidly in the lungs of the infected. They spread through the air, carried by the wind, by the breath, by the sneeze. They landed on surfaces, on skin, on clothes. They waited for a chance to enter their new host. They were relentless, they were deadly. They were the fungus among us. No one knew where they came from or how to stop them. Scientists worked frantically to find a cure, a vaccine, a way to contain the outbreak, but they were running out of time. The fungus was evolving, adapting, and mutating. It became resistant to drugs, to heat, to cold. It developed new ways to infect, to invade, and to survive. It was not just a disease, it was a living organism, and it had a mind of its own. It had purpose. It wanted to take over the world, and it was succeeding. The Last Hope. Dr. Maya Patel was a medical researcher at the CDC. She had been working on the fungus problem since the beginning. She had seen the horrors it caused, the lives it had taken, the world it had changed. She had also seen the failures, the failed attempts to find a cure, a vaccine, a way to contain the outbreak, the failed attempts to stop the fungus from evolving and adapting and mutating. She had lost all hope until she met Dr. Alex Chen. Dr. Alex Chen was a biochemist from MIT. He had been working on a secret project for the military. He had been studying the fungus, trying to understand its biology, its behavior, and its intelligence. He had seen all kinds of successes. The successful experiments to manipulate the fungus, to control it, to use that as a weapon. He had a plan, a risky, dangerous, desperate plan. He needed Dr. Patel's help. Together they devised a way to infiltrate the fungus network, to hack into its communication system, to send signals that would trigger a self-destruct mechanism. They called it the Last Hope. They presented their plan to General James Carter, the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He was skeptical, but he agreed to give them a chance. They prepared their equipment, their samples, their codes. They boarded a helicopter escorted by a team of soldiers. They flew to the epicenter of the outbreak, where the fungus was the most concentrated, the most powerful, the most vulnerable. They landed on the rooftop surrounded by the spores. They wore hazmat suits but knew they were not enough. They knew they were risking their lives. They set up their device on a small box with wires and antennas. They connected to the laptop where Dr. Chen typed the final commands. They activated the device, sending the pulse of electromagnetic waves in the air. They waited for a response. They heard a sound, a low rumbling sound that grew louder and louder, a sound that was everywhere and nowhere, a sound that was not human, a sound that was angry. The fungus had sensed their attack, and it was fighting back. The final strike. General Carter watched the screen, where the live feed showed the rooftop where Dr. Patel and Dr. Chan were. He saw them running, dodging, firing their guns at the spores that were flying at them. He saw them fail one by one as the spores pierced their suits, their skin, their organs. He saw them die. He felt a surge of anger and sadness, of guilt. He sent them to their deaths. He had failed. He looked at the other screen where the map showed the spread of the fungus across the country, across the world. He saw the red dots that marked the infected areas and the infected people. He saw them grow, multiply, and converge. He saw them form a pattern that looked like a face that looked like a smile that looked like a taunt. The fungus was mocking him. It was mocking humanity, and it was winning. He made a decision, the final decision. He picked up the phone and dialed the number. He spoke to the president, who gave him authorization. He spoke to the commander, who gave him the confirmation. He spoke to himself, who gave him the justification. He pressed the button and launched the missile, a nuclear missile, a missile that would wipe out the fungus and everything in its path, a missile that would end the war, that would end the world, a missile that was the final strike.